Hello and welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. We will be doing the predictions for game week 10. The games are coming thick and fast here in the Premier League. And unfortunately, today we don't have our other co-host, Zoya Khan. We're missing him a lot today, but hopefully he'll be back for the next predictions. But we'll add his predictions once he gives it to us and go on from there. But I have with me Mr. Abrar Aziz, my other co-host. How are you doing, man?
Good. I hope Zoe feels better quickly and he can come join us because we miss him, of course, as usual.
Yeah.
Games coming thick and fast. Our prediction lineup also getting really tight. I was lucky enough. I kind of won the game week, but I was behind in points with you guys.
I tied with you on the game week.
You and me tied. So
because I also got one exact prediction, but it was a different game to yours. But and we have a new entry as well. Ashish, he's playing with us, so he got 9 points. He actually got the highest points this game week. He's behind in total points, but that's because he started a week later, and he can always catch up. He got two predictions bang on, so shout out to him. But yeah, Zoe is on top. He started on points with me, but he's on top of the league. And he will be sending in his predictions as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's do our predictions for this game week, and then we'll add the others' predictions once they give it to us through WhatsApp or whatever.
Before we start off, I just want to say I've made some very gutsy predictions. I'm going to go on the edge. Either I'm going to go way ahead of you guys, or I'm going to fall back really in the pecking order. So this is my kind of a wild card kind of a week for me. So let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes, man. It's going to be interesting. So I mean, the games will start from Friday this time. So it's going to be action packed all the way through to Monday. So let's start with the first game. There's one game on Friday, I think. Yeah, Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Your thoughts on that game?
So I think Crystal Palace will miss Wilfried Zaha. Unfortunately, he's tested positive for COVID, so I think he due to the regulations he probably won't be able to make.
He's going to miss this week as well,
and probably next week also, depending on how he kind of feels and everything. So hoping for a speedy recovery for him. I just think that I think that Crystal Palace lack that zeal when he's not there in the front. So I think that they'll miss that. They've been okay this season. They haven't been talked about much, which is usually a good sign, because if you're talked about much, you're either in the top half or in the bottom half, or you're like Arsenal United that's struggling, which is not usually the case. So I think Crystal Palace has been okay, but I think they'll miss that Zaha effect in the game. So I'm going to go with the Newcastle win 2-1.
Going 2-1 Newcastle. I actually agree with you, because I saw that game and I think Crystal Palace actually played really well. They had some good chances, but they missed that finishing product, I think, which Zaha provides. So bang on over there, I think, with your analysis for that game. Having said that, I feel that they're still playing at home, so I think they will produce chances. And I think SK, if you pronounce his name, he's been impressive, and they have IU as well. They have they have some few players who can step up, and I think playing at home, yes, there's no crowd, but they know the pitch, they know the ground, so I think they will produce something. So I'm actually going with a draw. I'll go 2-2. I was thinking, should I just copy you, because if I do that, I'll end up ahead of you. I'm 1 point ahead. Should I just copy every prediction you do?
Your wish, bro. If you believe in my analysis so much, which has been absolutely incredible, right? So
yeah, there's two ways going. Either you kill it and I end up first, or we
both fade away and Zoe takes the lead, and he's not gonna leave us. He's not gonna make us forget it. So
let's just go. I'll go 2-2 Crystal Palace and Newcastle. So that sums up Friday's game. You're going for Newcastle 2-1 victory. I'm going 2-2 Crystal Palace Newcastle. Then moving on to Saturday's games. The first game on Saturday, early kickoff, Brighton versus Liverpool. Man, I have to say, my prediction might be different or whatever, but I have to say Liverpool outstanding, I think, in the last game against Leicester. Like I mentioned, I think the week before, the system that Klopp has is just like crazy, man. Players just slot into that system and they just perform. Jota has been a sensational signing, unbelievable. And but I just watched them in the Champions League today, and I feel they lost 2-0. So I think there is that they might get not found out. It just might catch up with them, all these injuries, So I don't know how that's going to be, but right now they're doing a great job. And to be in that top half, in the top two, I think it's incredible what they're doing. So having said that, I feel that it might be a bit difficult, because this season, it's very competitive. There's teams, different types of teams bringing up different types of performances. So it won't be that easy to be consistent. Your thoughts on this game?
I agree 100% with you. I think that today they were when we played against Atalanta, they were a little bit really off the pace. They didn't seem like they had the like the regular Liverpool that we kind of used to seeing. But they also played a relatively weaker team. They didn't have all of their star players that probably came on in the 68th minute, try to salvage something off the game, but it didn't really work out for them today. But man, on the weekend they were just absolutely sublime. They were proper footballing side, the kind of champions that we're used to seeing. These kind of injuries, like you said, also are a little bit of an issue for them. And I'm expecting them to have more games like they had against Atalanta today.
Mm.
But I think that Premier League is probably their focus, and I think on the Premier League weekends, I think they'll be pretty solid. So I'm not expecting anything apart from a win from Liverpool. I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool.
You're going 3-1 for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm just, even though I praise them a lot, I'm just going with a 2-1 Brighton win. I might be completely wrong.
No, honestly, Brighton was very good last week as well. So
yeah, the only thing is they're going to be missing Tariq Lamptey, man. He was sensational. Very unlucky to get that second yellow. I think he's going to be missing one game week. So those fantasy managers as well. A lot of you guys have him, so just watch out for that. Either keep him on the bench because he'll be back after a week. That would be my suggestion. But unfortunately, Brighton will miss him. He created a lot of chances in that game last week for them. So he was just unlucky that there was no finish. The ball didn't go into the net. But I think he goes forward even defensively. He's pretty good. Like, he's really quick. So they will miss him. But I don't know. I just feel one day the injuries will catch up. We saw that against Atalanta, but I can be completely wrong because Klopp has been a genius so far. But I'm going 2-1 Brighton. 2-1.
So you're also going the wild card route, I see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
at least for this game.
Putting my neck out there for this game. Brighton playing at home. Hopefully they can muster up something. Then moving on to the next game, Man City versus Burnley. City really need a win, a big win. They need to get that confidence going. That title is slipping away. It's very early days right now, but like so far they've been dropping points left, right, and center. They've lost to Spurs. They've lost to Leicester. They drew to Liverpool. They've drawn in between as well. So they're dropping quite a few points this season, and it's very unlike Guardiola and his team. So your thoughts on this game?
Absolutely, I think I completely agree with you. They've just really looked a very a side that we're not used to seeing. We're used to seeing City rampant those points early on. They score those high scoring games where they have like those 4-0 final victories, and that's something that we're used to seeing of City. We haven't really seen that at all this season. Maybe the win today gives them a little confidence, but it was by no means a big win or anything that kind of just changes it up. It was a decent win for them, but I think a pretty decent side to play. Burnley, who's really had no teeth in this season, they've looked lackluster. Probably a good team to kind of come up against to kind of change their fortunes. I'm expecting them to win 2-0. City to win 2-0.
You're going Man City 2-0.
Yeah,
I am just adding a goal to that. I have 3-0 written down. I just feel that they'll need to, stamp their authority on this league, and they'll need to actually, they will be wanting to come out all guns blazing. They have the talent. They just need to finish, man. That's the thing. Like, hopefully Jesus steps up. I don't know what's happening with Aguero, but if he's going to play or not. But apart from that, KDB looks great, but they need the other players to step in and, finish. I think Sterling will need to get that end product going as well. So I'm going for a 3-0 Manchester City win. And then moving on.
First time you predicted City to win, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I'm going against my thing, but I don't know, man.
I have a surprise for you as well.
I just know what that is now since you said that. But I mean, I actually always predict like City and Liverpool to lose, but like Liverpool this time, it's nothing against them. I actually really respect the work they've done. It's just I feel maybe the injuries might catch up because I saw that Champions League game as well. But moving on to the next game, Everton versus Leeds. This is going to be an exciting game. Every time we see Leeds, I always say exciting. But even if you look at Everton, last game was 3-2. They're scoring goals, they're conceding as well. So there's something going on there for both teams. I think it might be a high-scoring thriller, but your thoughts on this game?
No, I think I agree with you 100%. I think even though the last game they played against Arsenal, it was a 0-0 game, they did lack the finishing capability, but I think it was just a matter of I guess Arsenal kind of shutting shop, and they defended pretty well in that second half, and didn't give Leeds too much of a chance. So I think that Bisla won't like that. I think he's going to really hammer in those extra training sessions and everything. So I think that a couple of goals from Leeds, but I also think that Everton has found the mojo back after a couple of poor games. So I think that they will also score. So I'm going for a 2-2 draw. I'm going to keep this interesting. Yeah.
Okay, 2-2 draw for Everton and Leeds. I mean, that I might be like a fair result. result. Knowing the attacking nature and the defensive frailties in both teams. But I think Everton will nick it.
Mhm.
I'll go 4-3 for Everton
Nice. I
against
like
Leeds.
that.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a thriller like that, a high scoring thriller. So yeah, I'll go 4-3 for Everton against Leeds. And then the last game on Saturday is West Brom versus Sheffield. Your thoughts on this game?
Man,
Two
I it's
bottom place
just
teams.
it's just I think I am just so surprised by Sheffield. Every week I kind of try to back them to try and win, and they've really not lived up to that expectation of mine. They've just found it very hard to score. They've been conceding on over and over again. It's just such an unfortunate turn of events for them. But it is what it is, I guess. I am going with them to win again. I think West Brom is really poor. I think that they are shade more poor. The results have not shown that, but I think that Sheffield will win this 1-0. I
1-0.
mean I don't want to say West Brom is more poor because Sheffield has been struck bottom, but I just think that they have something in them and they have something that they can turn it around. I'm still expecting them to save the drop. I think that they'll finish 17th. I'm still expecting that. That might change in a couple more weeks, but as of right now, I'm gonna back them one more time and see how it goes. Sheffield 1-0.
1-0 for Sheffield. I have a slightly different opinion because I watched West Brom against United very closely, and it might just be because United were crap. But at the same time, I think West Brom had some really good chances. They were very unlucky there. They could have easily drawn that game, taken a point, or even
Yeah,
like won that game
yeah.
if they wanted to. It was a 1-0 win for United, but looking at their position, United should have been more aggressive. But I think at the same time, West Brom they held their own in that game. Defensively, they were decent, and attacking, they had chances. It's just they didn't have that end product. They were unlucky. So Sheffield, on the other hand, they've been really poor this whole season. If this was the beginning of the season, I would have definitely gone with the Sheffield win. But because it's I've seen West Brom a bit more closely, so I actually probably will go with a 1-0 West Brom win. I
Fair
was
enough.
thinking of a draw, but maybe I think because Sheffield have been a slightly poorer
They've been very
side.
poor, very very
Yeah,
poor.
yeah. Comparatively, like they've been poorer than West Brom, so I'll just go 1-0 for West Brom. And that
Yeah.
wraps up Saturday's games. Sunday, the biggest game of the game week in the morning. The first game, Southampton versus Manchester United. It's gonna be a crazy game, man. I think I know you're gonna who you're gonna go for. And Southampton are the informed team. They're playing the better football. They're higher on the points table, but you can never write out United away from home, and they've been very inconsistent. So you never know. Right? I don't know. It pains for me to say this, but it looks like Southampton are going to this game as favorites.
So for me, my first curveball was a Sheffield win. I'm still backing them. Even last week, I backed them. They didn't go in my favor. I'm backing them again. I'm expecting those points in my favor against you guys. So my second one, I think both of you go with United wins because you guys are United fans and
Yeah,
it's
I
fair.
think even Ashish is a United fan. He's gonna go. All three of us are gonna go
So
here.
so that's why I'm going with a 2-1 Southampton win. There's not necessarily a lot of analysis per se. United on their day we saw against Istanbul as well in that first half they looked really really good. It helped that Fernandes scored that beautiful open play goal. Sorry, Fernandes. I'll be fair to you guys. Bruno Fernandes scored that
Sweet
very very.
strike, mate.
It was
Sweet
it was
strike.
it was quite something. I mean, it was just so beautiful to watch that. Any person, even from a rival team, they score something like that. It's just a treat to watch. So I think that I'm keeping the analysis kind of just a little bit on the side. I'm just going for the points on this one, so I'm gonna go 2-1 Southampton.
Going 2-1 Southampton. I actually feel it's a really good prediction in that sense. I think if you look at form wise and like the season so far, Southampton have been really impressive, and I think it's going to be a tough game for United.
Yeah.
But United will favor that they're playing away from home, and I think they will play kind of like on the counter attack. They might not
Yeah.
have as much possession like they did against West Brom, and I think that might suit them. I might become, but I won't be surprised with your result. It won't be a shock. It's not like those days anymore that
Yeah.
United lose to Southampton. I won't be surprised if you get this result right. But I'm just going with a 2-1 United win, reverse Manchester United to win 2-1. Just because I feel that they will prefer kind of playing on the counter, and I hope Van der Beek plays as well. He was very impressive in the Champions League game. It'll be interesting to see how he plays with Southampton, who will be more competitive. But I don't know about Pogba as well. If he's fit, he might play as well. It'll be interesting how Ole sets up. But United need to keep winning these games to try to climb up and go for the top four. So I'm going with a 2-1 United win.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then moving on to the next game, it's This is the actual biggest game of the game week. The Chelsea versus Tottenham Hotspurs. Both teams looking in red hot form. Both, in that top of the table, top side of the table. Spurs on number 1. I think Chelsea on number 3, if I'm not mistaken. But they're right up there. I think Chelsea, for me, are proper title contenders this season. They've gelled a bit earlier than we expected. The likes of Timo Werner, finding his own. Ziyech as well. He's taking the Premier League by storm. When Havertz is fully fit as well, I think he's recovered from COVID, but when he's been impressive before as well. So I think Chelsea are looking good. Tottenham, on the other hand, greatest team in North London. They'll be oozing with confidence after beating City, but this will be a very tight game. I feel it's not going to be easy to predict this one. Both teams looking good. It could go either way. Your thoughts on this game?
So I told you I have a surprise for you. So I'm going to give you my prediction first, and then we'll talk a little bit about the game. So I'm going to go with a draw, 2-2. This is the first time
I'm giving them man.
I'm giving them a point, bro, versus them losing. I don't expect anything else from them. I expect them to get relegated.
I thought you were going to give them 3 points.
Nah, bro. I'll give them a point. So I'm going to go with a 2-2. I think in terms of the analysis as well, I think both teams will score goals. But I think we have to be fair over here. I think Spurs have a little bit of a slightly upper hand, only because it's an Jose Mourinho team, so they're like that smash and grab kind of team. So they will go set up. They'll structurally be set up very well in defense. It'll be hard for Chelsea to break this. They break this back line, which is very well structured and very well organized, and they will break you on the counter. And that kind of game will suit Tottenham, because they will be able to score the goals on the other side, because we know of Chelsea's defensive frailties a little bit. I just think that Chelsea has enough in the attacking front to be able to break this Tottenham defense. So that's why I'm going for a 2-2. I'm just trying to be as fair as I possibly can.
I completely agree with you, because I have the same score written down. But I just remembered something. It's not to do with you. I would have kept it. I just remembered something. Last podcast, Anas came because I backed Spurs to win. They won and he came on, and I was really happy. So I'm going to change my prediction. I have 2-2 written down, Chelsea Spurs, because I completely agree with all your points, and I think it's going to be a very close encounter. But just for that, I'm going with a 3-2 Spurs win for my boy Anas. But I completely agree with you. There's nothing I can argue with what you said, because I had the same score written down, to be honest with you. So 3-2 to Spurs. It's going to be a great game, man. I'm really excited to watch that game. Lampard versus Mourinho, bro.
Yeah, it's good. This is kind of the what is it called? The guru versus the student.
Defensively, would you say, even though Spurs conceded 3 against West Ham, but do you think defensively, would you tip Spurs?
Yeah, I think so. I think in the game against City, they looked really, really solid. They figured it out, and that's what you expect from Mourinho. You expect that from Mourinho. You expect him to really set his team up properly on the defensive side of things, and he's done that. You saw against City, they weren't able to score. I just think that Chelsea is a little bit running a little bit hotter than City has been. City has had these issues, and
so it's going to be a bit more difficult for
the likes of Werner, who's been good. Giroud would come in maybe if needed in the last 20 minutes to probably get that extra goal or something. You saw him finish up in extra time, injury time yesterday as well.
Any news on Alderweireld? He came off.
I'm not 100% sure.
So that if he doesn't play, that might be an issue for Spurs. 100%. Yeah. So it looks like it's favoring Chelsea.
Ziyech is taking them by storm. They're taking the team by storm. So I think it'll be an interesting game. I think 2-2 will be a fair result.
Whoever wins will get closer to that
it's
title
challenge. I think
not to win the title, but they will probably become title challengers, you can say.
I think, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, I think both of them already are.
Okay.
With City kind of dropping, I think both of them are title challengers. Liverpool's probably the third. I think it's kind of between these three, I think, now. Have to see how the next few game weeks go. If there's any changes, if City kind of comes back in it or whatever, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for a really good game, because I think both sides have been outstanding this season. They've been brilliant the way they played. Both sides attackingly have been looking good. Chelsea, they had defensive issues, but they're sorting that out. They're not looking as poor anymore defensively. So credit to Lampard and his boys, and Mourinho and his boys as well. I think that wraps up that game. You're going with 2-2. I'm going with 3-2, even though I think I'm going to be completely wrong. It won't be that high. It might not be that high scoring. But maybe 1-0 would have been a more safer bet. But let's go 3-2 for Spurs. Now moving on to the last game of Sunday, Arsenal versus Wolves. Take it away. I'm not going to say anything.
Man, we all know that there's issues with this Arsenal attacking line. It's not
I'm
something that
surprised,
cannot be
man, to be
fixed.
honest with
Yeah,
you.
it's not something that cannot be fixed. It is unfortunate. It has come a little bit as a surprise because they're not able to bring the defense to the attack. Their midfield is has been found wanting. That is exactly what you expect your midfield to do, right? And that's been found wanting. Obviously there's the lack of creativity in that team. With that being said, 2-1 to Arsenal.
2-1 to Arsenal. You're saying it's going to be a closer game.
I
Any
I think I expect it to be absolutely close game. I think Wolves are looking pretty decent as well. They're not looking as good as they were last season. They look a little bit more jaded. They look a little bit more tired. Uh, I think that I'm hoping that Arsenal capitalizes on that. So that's why I'm going to one.
any update on Thomas Partey?
I'm being told he's a 75% chance, I believe. So hopefully they'll do a late fitness on him and hopefully he makes it.
Yeah, I think defensively he'll put in a shift as well in that midfield, so
Yep.
he'll be very important.
I think he's more needed in the attacking front. I think he needs some of those Yaya Toure kind of runs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I agree with your points, but I just feel Wolves have been very poor. Like, yes, they drew in the last game, but they've just not been convincing. They've had a few chances here and there, but if you look at the total game, they've conceded at the back. They're missing the likes of Doherty. They're missing Jota 100%. It's been two big misses for them. Unfortunately, that's weakened them this season. But it's football. If the likes of Jimenez can trouble Arsenal, but I just feel Arsenal's defense has become a bit better, and Wolves still have some issues in their defense. So I'm going with a 2-0 Arsenal win.
Wow! Surprise!
Yeah,
I expected both of you guys to go, all three of you guys to go with the Wolves win. So I went Arsenal because, I mean, of course, I will never go against Arsenal. 1 and 2, I expected this to be my point. So I mean, I guess now I need it to be a perfect scoreline for me to win this one.
You went with United last week, so I am returning you the favor. No, but to be honest, I've seen both teams. I think yes, Arsenal have been blowing hot and cold. To be honest, not as hot and cold as United, but they've had issues. They've looked strong as well. But I think just this matchup will suit them a bit more because defensively, I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but from what I've seen so far, Wolves haven't been as impressive as last year, especially defensively. And even attacking, they have Jimenez, but getting the ball to him, getting into those areas, they haven't created those chances. Yes, they've got a chance here and there. It's come out of the blue a bit more than actual, possession play and everything. I think in that way, Arsenal are better off. And I think defensively, Arsenal look better this season, even though they've conceded 3 against Aston Villa. But even you saw in the Leeds game, they were lucky they could have conceded more. But I just feel like against Wolves, they'll be a bit better off.
Yeah, fair enough.
So 2-0 to Arsenal for me and 2-1 for you for Arsenal. And then that wraps up Sunday's games. And then Monday, there's a couple of games there. Leicester versus Fulham. Leicester will be wanting to come back after that loss against Liverpool. And Fulham... they fought well. They missed a penalty. I don't know what's happening, man. They keep missing penalties. Whenever people are saying if Fulham get a penalty, just give it away. They should just forfeit that penalty. But they still fought against Everton. They could have snuck a point if they scored that penalty. It could have been a different story completely altogether. But Leicester will be wanting to come back. So your thoughts on this game?
I agree. I think Fulham has been unfortunate. I don't think that they're as poor as they are looking right now because they've been missing some chances.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think Leicester will really want to come back strong after what seemed like, I mean, yes, they lost to Liverpool, but in the manner in which they lost would be something that's concerning Brendan Rodgers. So I think that that they will turn it around nicely, and this is a good game for them to kind of just chip in and get a nice strong performance out there and performance with some serious authority. 3-0 to Leicester.
Oh, I got same 3-0 to Leicester.
Nice.
We actually had the 2-2 as well, I think, but for the Chelsea game, and this one, I'm not changing this one. I'm going 3-0 Leicester. I completely agree with you. Fair. Jamie Vardy hopefully will have a party. He'll be upset not scoring.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of a heads up over here. I have finally changed Oba as my captain. I made Jamie Vardy as my captain, so I'm hoping for a hat trick from him.
So you're finally thinking.
I haven't removed him from the team. I still have Oba.
He's still there.
But I have. I've just given a little bit of a breather for him to change, to kind of just get back in that goal scoring form. Bring back.
I'm sure it's difficult for you, but I think that's a smart choice. To be honest, yes, he didn't score in the last game, Vardy, but like in these kind of games, you always back him. He's an outstanding striker. He gets into those positions. His pace is next level, so he will cause problems for that Fulham backline. So I think Vardy is a really good option for those fantasy managers. I think you've done a smart move by picking him captain. You still keep Opa on your team one more week if you want to, because I know you don't want to take him out. But
I'm not removing it for all 38 game weeks, bro. I can guarantee that.
Oh, okay then. He might score a hat trick next game in the next game week, and you don't have him captain. But yeah, don't listen to me. Keep Vardy. Vardy is good, man. Vardy is good. But yeah, so we're both going 3-0 for Leicester and Fulham. Yeah, that sounds good. And then the last game of game week 10. West Ham versus Aston Villa. I'm very excited for this game. I think both teams have, both teams have looked good this season. There's been some Villa's lost like a few games here and there. Last week they would have been disappointed with their performance. They should have probably come back. You could say unlucky not to get the penalty in the end to get it reversed. But yeah, both teams looking good. West Ham, on the other hand, they're cleaning up. They're getting those victories. They had a clean sheet in the last game, so they're looking good. West Ham much better than last year. West Ham, sorry.
I think I agree completely. I think Aston Villa has kind of put the foot off the pedal a little bit, so to say. Every time I've backed them in these game weeks, they've lost. My boy Carl is probably very upset, but I'm gonna do him good. I'm gonna predict an Aston Villa loss, so maybe they'll prove me wrong and win, and then I'll have to start thinking again. But I think just in the terms of how they played in the last game, just on basic current position, I think West Ham was looking good. They have been looking good. David Moyes has done a decent team in kind of making this a well-oiled machine, like Zoe said last time. It's doing decently. It's not high octane oil, but it's like a mid-level decent oil. I think they will be a mid-table team. That is what is expected of them, obviously. So I'm expecting a 2-1 West Ham win.
2-1 West Ham win. Yeah, some really good points there. I think it'll be a draw. I think I'm going with 1-1 West Ham Villa. I completely agree with you, but I just feel that Villa. They will come back a bit stronger after the last game. We've seen like when they lose, they do come back stronger the next game week. But this West Ham team is very tough. They've been playing really well. They've been defending well as well. So I think they have the work cut out, Aston Villa, but I think they have enough in them to pick up a point. At West Ham. So yeah, I'm going with a 1-1 draw.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think that wraps up the predictions for this game week. Some interesting predictions there. I think
I can't wait for Zoe's predictions and Ashish's predictions.
Yeah, it's gonna be intense. I think I've put my neck out there a bit too much, man. Some risky predictions, like a 4-3 I got in there, a 3-2 in there. But let's go, man. You have to try. If it works out, it feels good. If not, then. But yeah, I think that wraps it up. Any last points?
No, I'm looking forward to some good games this weekend, and hopefully an Arsenal win, some of the other results going in my favor, and a couple of exact predictions, and I'll be on top of the table.
Yep. Let's see how that goes. It's neck and neck either way. I think if someone can, I don't know, but if someone gets like crazy game week, if Zoe predicts something crazy and he can go ahead of us, but I think it's going to be pretty close. I might go down this game week from what I see, but
I think so. Not necessarily.
Or
some
I
interesting points by you.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. Watch out for that predictions table as well, and enjoy the games. It's going to be a fun game week. I think that Chelsea-Tottenham game is the game to watch out for. So that will be a lot of fun. It should be a exciting close game, hopefully. But thank you so much for joining me, and hope to see you soon. Take care.